signed up on it. They don't have to go on to the grab a load.
I did one year, like 2 hours before the parade. The guy left the road and rolled it just north of town. The truck was covered in grass and dirt.
I'll call to order the city council meeting for August 12, 2021. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, roll call.
Steve Cherney.
Here.
Kevin Kadada.
Here.
Tim Rude.
Here.
Cindy Fuhr.
Here.
And Scott Palava.
Here.
Okay, tonight's agenda goes through 10F. Any additions, deletions, or corrections to the agenda?
Move to approve the agenda as presented.
Motion by Councilman Palava,
Second?
second by Councilperson Fuhr. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Approval of minutes. Consider approval of the minutes from the July 8th, 2021 regular meeting, the July 26th, 2021 special meeting, and the July 29th, 2021 regular meeting. Any additions, deletions, or corrections to the minutes?
Move to approve, Your Honor.
Motion by Councilman Cherney,
Second?
second by Councilperson Fuhr. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. There are no public hearings. On to presentation of citizens' petitions and comments. Comments limited to 2 minutes. So if you're not on the agenda, now is your opportunity to speak. Okay, there's nothing on the consent agenda. There is no old business. On to new business. Consider approval of application for payment number 5 in the amount of $90,741.15 to Key Contractors, Inc. for the police facility. Melissa Stein, welcome.
Yes.
That should be it.
Perfect. Thank you. Mayor, council members. Yeah, so I just wanted to give you guys a quick update on kind of where we're at right now with progress. So we at the moment have all of our underground utilities installed. As you can see, the footings have been in place. We've backfilled where we need to. We've done the waterproofing where we don't have kind of our precast sandwich walls going in, so all of that's been taken care of. And then we've started doing some of the electrical transformer has been installed as well. So now we're just waiting for our walls and everything can get connected, and we'll start doing all the interior work, and then the paving will happen along that same time as well.
What is the anticipated date for the walls?
That's a great question. So as you guys are probably aware, that we don't have precast walls. That was kind of the one last critical piece that we were waiting on, and the last time I was here we said, oh, they're coming on this date. We have had some issues with our brick, so myself and Key Contractor are working with our subcontractors trying to get the correct brick, the right color. Obviously we're not trying to match anything specifically, but we do have, you know, a look to the building, and we want to make sure that we're having that and that we have a building that looks nice. So we are currently trying to work with them to get the right product here. At the moment, we don't have a date set. We're working really tirelessly trying to figure out to get that product here. But every time we have like an update, we are updating the schedule tentatively, and at the moment, we don't foresee any contract extensions at this point in time. With the dates that we've been given.
And the brick will be integrated into the panels.
Correct. Yep.
Is there an option that we could have the panels made and get the brick shipped at a later date and install on site?
There is not. No, they actually get formed into the precast itself. So that's kind of what they're waiting for. We did look at options of, you know, not having the brick. We did look at options of going with a different manufacturer, and unfortunately we're just not getting the right brick color. Either they can't match it, and then we'd have to end up changing something else. And then not having the brick, again, because we know they're precast panels, we still want a building, again, that looks good and doesn't look like a, concrete box. And so we really wanted to stick with the brick that we had, or the brick on the building.
Did we choose something, I have not seen what the products look like. Did we choose something so unique that they can't match a color to it?
We did not, no. So it's a typical brick. It's one that we've used at other places. What we have been informed of is at the plant itself, they've had some issues, actually burning the brick and making it in the kiln itself,
Okay.
is what
And
we've been
then
informed of. So.
in the process of reproducing this, are we at the front of the line, or have we gone to the back of the line, we start all over? I mean, are we a priority as far as getting this corrected and get the stuff to the site?
Yes, yeah, we are very much a priority, to the point where I've actually had conversations with the owner of the company, of the brick company, explaining, how urgent this is and time sensitive. He's aware of it, so he's actually working through, he's made it his priority to make sure that we get the brick here on site. But yes, great question. I've made sure that we are not going to the back of the queue, every time we have an issue, and making sure that we're on the front, or is, expediting it as much as I can have full there.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Would we expect a shell prior to winter conditions?
We do expect, right now with the dates, we're thinking that they'll be installed in September.
Okay, I mean, I guess my question leads to, will winter conditions become a problem eventually? Or do you feel that you got the shell and heat and you're all good for the winter, or?
Yeah, so we, the contractor will have, because they would have been working over the winter to some extent anyways, and so they do have the winter conditions already roped into their overall, contract budget and, contract award that you guys approved.
Melissa, is this unique to Lonsdale, what you're going through, or do you have other clients that are going through the same thing?
Some of our other clients are going through product delivery issues and other longer lead time issues. This particular issue that we're having with the brick, I have never experienced before, and our brick rep has never experienced
saying we're
before.
special.
You guys are special,
Yeah,
yes,
I love it.
absolutely,
This
yes.
is great. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Would it help anything if the mayor gave a call to anybody to let them know how serious this is, or not?
No, I mean, every call would help. However, I can
You don't need
fully
us at
say
this
I've
point.
I've definitely
Okay.
have gone to bat for you guys and have explained the urgency of it. I don't know how many more calls are going to expedite the process, because even firing the brick, if that is the issue, which is they're saying that it is, it does take time for that to happen, like a 4 or 5 thing. So even after they mess up, it does take an extra 4 or 5 days to remake it and get that process started. And then once we have it approved, there's a 2-week process before it can actually get delivered to like the precast manufacturer.
So we're scheduled to receive the test sample Monday now, correct?
Correct, yep,
Which we were supposed to have Wednesday,
correct,
so.
yep.
I guess you follow along.
Yeah, so yeah, right at this point, we are waiting on it. We were supposed to have it
Yep.
Wednesday, whether it wasn't right or whatever, but.
So
now we're-
what is your overall thought of this process and procedure? I mean,
Well, as I told Melissa, I find it very hard to believe that we're the only people on earth that, suddenly this problem has come up and we're the light bulb moment for them. I have a hard time with that, but, when this actually went back, probably a month ago, when we were first starting with that, and ultimately it boiled down to, one of the suggestions was finding a different brick manufacturer. Well, then texture and this and that wasn't gonna match, or flip-flopping colors, by moving some colors that were supposed to be at the back, moving them to the front, but then the facade, the sheet metal and all that other stuff wasn't gonna match. So we were gonna be really dark on one side and light on the other. And ultimately it boils down to, we ordered a product, and we want it as per design. With anything else, it's as per design. Now, it is creating a bit of a headache, but ultimately, we're the end user, we're the customer, and this is our 50-year, 60-year building. This isn't like we're, you know, we're putting vinyl siding on something that we can change in 5 years. This
Do
is
you,
a
do you feel,
long-term
do you feel
investment.
everybody's doing the best they can in the situation?
I believe so. I think companies in themselves, I mean, you know, we're dealing with it throughout everywhere. There's labor shortages, there's material shortages, you know, for all we know that, you know, they're maybe having issues with their mixes, so they're trying to, be, creative and make something else work. You know, they can't get part A and part B, so now they're using C, D, and E to try to get the same end result, and, you know, it might be an experiment, just they're trying to get it done. But, you know, we're not directly, you know, Joel and I, you know, we're not talking directly to them, it's, you know, we're.
I guess my
Melissa's
point is,
conduit,
you know,
but-
if everybody's putting their best effort forward, I mean, there's probably not a lot we can do, you know, if that is the
You
case.
know, I know the guys from Key, they're sitting here saying, you know, give us some walls, we wanna build this thing. I mean, you know, Ed is
Sure.
up there, I don't wanna say twiddling his thumbs, but he's becoming a lonely man up there. He needs some activity, he needs some action. So they wanna get this done, we wanna get it done, and we're looking forward to Monday's, you know, sample, because the other thing we talked about too is this, normally what they do, they would do a test fire, a sample of the bricks, and if it works, then they would do the production. Well, as she was explaining it, they're going to do the test fire and the final product all at once. They're gonna start that so that we know that the conditions are identical. You know, so when we get our sample panel, that's actually from the actual production, because there's so many inconsistencies in this project, in this, the brick process.
What are you gonna comment on the pay request? And does Joel, is that a valid pay request? You guys look at that a little bit? You got thoughts on that? Is it?
At this point, you know, I mean, Key has done everything that they can, and I don't think there's anything in there that is questionable. We had to resolve an issue with, some, storm drains, so that'll be getting done when the grading gets done. So, I mean, realistically, they're as caught up as they can be.
Yeah, with the fiber that got put in and the transformer installation and some of the underground that just basically got done this week or last week, we're up to walls essentially at this point in time.
Well, as a point of clarification, I just asked Kevin, and he said, yeah, you can do that. Can they cocoon this baby and put the walls up, like if the weather changed, can you build a cocoon, heat it, and put the walls up, or not? Or do the walls have to be up before we do anything else? I'm trying to get a fix on the winterization aspect. You know, I've seen construction sites where they put up the big plastic things and they heat it, and I've done smaller jobs like that. Can this project, if we got to the point where these walls were delayed another 2 months, can they cocoon this thing and then bring the walls in, put them up?
Not very effectively.
Okay.
They can install these panels in the
I
winter
was gonna say,
time.
They come out cured,
Yep.
so they can get
Yep.
installed.
And
Oh, I see, but we can't cocoon. The point I'm getting at, I was gonna ask Scott the question, but I'll just ask you. Are we at a point where, let's say that, let's take the worst case scenario and the panels are delayed, let's say another month and a half or 2 months. Are we at a point where we could just say, let's put a lid on this project until the spring? I mean, is that built into your project line, the line at all, rather than being optimistic about it? Is there a point where we just say, let's just stop this baby?
there would be probably some hard decisions if that would be the route that we would want to go. That's not, a hold or delay of the project was not built into the overall
was my question.
schedule or
But-
contract
But I
amount.
think you mentioned the contractors assume some winter conditions.
It does.
already.
Yep,
So,
yep.
I think it'd be expensive to stop.
Right.
And it's also been made clear that with the brick company too, any winter conditions as a result of that, because there was engineered and some winter stuff figured in, but anything above and beyond that as a result of this brick, that's the brick company's responsibility.
I just remember talking about penalties, and then I don't think we really had any in the
There's no
contract.
LDs, but
Right.
there is concessions for winter conditions or other delays, falls on whoever's at fault.
That's pretty subjective, isn't
Well, this is pretty clear who's failed this one.
I don't know, you talk about all the lines of
But it-
the brick, well, anyway, I guess my real question is, if we put a lid on this thing right now and just say, let's just wait until we get everything in order, is that even feasible to do that? Just put a lid on, right, what's out there now, just put a lid on it, damn thing.
I don't think you would assume.
You've got
can't
open-
do that?
You've got open areas yet with.
Okay, well, I
footings and
don't
all
know,
that
I
stuff,
don't know
and-
anything about it.
Yeah, I mean, well, once the walls are up and they're waiting, the roof material and all that
Oh,
stuff.
all
is-
that's there already.
Well, it's not
Okay.
there, but they're waiting on that because the job site, once they get the walls up,
Mhm.
then the cranes are moved out, then the parking lot and the curb can get done, all that stuff can get wrapped up, and then, but the roof will be put on right after that.
Oh, really?
And then they can, they made concessions for this as far as the bracing is to the outside versus the inside, so that once the walls are up, even if there's not a cap
Oh,
on it,
it'll
they can
stay
pour,
there.
they can pour floors and everything, once
Okay,
the,
that's
even though
Okay,
there's not a
well,
lid on it.
Sounds like we just keep
So,
going.
yeah.
To the mayor's point, as long as everybody's doing their due diligence, that's all we can hope for.
And the roof system that's all in place, I mean, not on site, but I mean, ordered and
Waiting?
lead times there.
Yep, so I was gonna bring that up, because that is why we extended the contract the first time. So we do have a confirmation that the week of October 17th, which is kind of around the time we were told the first time, with the extension of when we were gonna get them, we're still on track for that date. And Ed and Joe from Key Contractors have been checking that date, and any of our other longer lead time items that we've been seeing, just, from an industry standpoint, we've been making sure that they're checking on all those dates as well. So, yep,
We're planning on keys on March 7th.
yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay. We need a motion on the pay request.
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Attorney,
Second.
second by Councilman Kadada. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Consider approval to reschedule the following meetings, Thursday, November 11th, 2021, to Monday, November 8th, 2021, the Thursday, November 25th, 2021, to Monday, November 22nd, 2021, Thursday, December 23rd, 2021, to Monday, December 20th, 2021. Mr. Erickson.
Thank you, Mayor and members of the council. As I was looking at the calendar for the rest of this year on city council meetings, our meetings in November are November 11th, which is Veterans Day, and then obviously we always have to reschedule the last meeting on Thursday due to Thanksgiving. And then as we look towards the holidays, our last meeting in December would be the 23rd, and with Christmas on a Saturday, Friday becomes the Christmas observed holiday, and then that Thursday becomes the Christmas Eve. We work until noon that day. As the mayor said, we're looking to change that November 11th meeting to November 8th, the Thanksgiving meeting to Monday the 22nd, and then Thursday, December 23rd, to Monday the 20th. Another reason to move the first meeting, in addition to Veterans Day, is that with the city election, the city council has to canvass the results, and that has to occur between November 5th, which is a Friday, and the 11th, or I'm sorry, the 12th, which is a Friday. So, if it works for the city council, if it works for staff, we would recommend that the meetings be rescheduled as proposed.
So moved. Motion by Councilman Kadada,
Second.
second by Councilman Palava. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Consider approval of Resolution 2021-44, a resolution approving an energy assistance program agreement between the City of Lonsdale and the Minnesota Department of Commerce. Mr. Erickson.
Thank you, Mayor and members of the council. With the city resuming to shut-offs, we're looking to find ways to help residents that are past due, or if they were in shut-off at that time, to find assistance for them. With the funding from the American Rescue Plan, the state is gonna get, I'm not sure how many millions of dollars, and that's to be allocated to low-income assistance, whether it's rent or utilities. So in order for our residents to access that, the city has to enter into this agreement with the Department of Commerce. And essentially what happens is once we're registered and in agreement with them, we'll let the residents know, and they can apply to the state, and then the state in turn, if they meet the qualifications, would send us the money, the past due amount or whatever portion that they would qualify for. So in order for us to get the money, we have to enter into this agreement. This will be, well, I guess never say never, but this program has been out there, but it hasn't been for water. So it's not anticipated, or it's anticipated that this will be have a sunset date. So it's really short term. I mean, everything I'm reading from the league or any emails I get from Department of Revenue or whatever department, they're saying, apply now, the money is gonna go fast.
So my question is, how is a resident gonna find out about this?
We'll have to provide, and we certainly could send information to at least ones that are on the past due list. You know, our website.
I think you almost wanna do that, because I think over the course of summer, as you heard from some of the businesses, they maybe weren't aware of some of the opportunities for COVID dollars. So I think we need to be more, you know, I don't know what the word is, forthcoming or advertising or promoting.
And to be
They're
honest.
more available.
Available.
And to be honest, since it's low income, it's probably unlikely that a lot of our residents are gonna qualify anyway. But hey, if they can, you know, benefit from some of this federal money, great.
Right.
Yeah, we've talked about this issue, and I asked Joel when we talked about it, council will recall, are some of these chronic folks that have nothing to do with COVID or layoffs, everything. To that point, I'll use the word discriminatory, but if we could put a caveat to if we're gonna take that list and contact those people that are on the list now, I'd like to somehow put a qualifier in their application or let the state know that these people are chronic, that these are not necessarily, I don't wanna kick that can down where they take advantage of government if these are chronic abusers, Your Honor. I don't know how to word that, maybe you guys can help me with that, but I don't wanna do that. If it's truly a need, I don't know if we can, I don't know if we have the authority or the right or the ethical right to do that, but I just don't like the fact that these are chronic abusers, that they take advantage of the system just up the ladder.
It's very possible they may not actually even qualify.
Right.
You know,
Right.
oftentimes you find the people that can afford stuff choose not to pay for it because they like spending it other places.
Well,
You know,
that's.
some of these, you know, if you look at the addresses.
You know what I'm trying,
Yeah,
you know what I'm trying to
not
do
a-
here,
yeah.
Scott.
No, I understand, a hundred percent.
Right.
Yeah, you throw them a life raft and.
Well, and they
they've
just
got
give
a
you the
boat- they've got a
finger,
boat
you know, they
sitting
give you
there.
the finger all the time, and so I don't know how we would handle that. If
Well,
we-
and I think conversely, you know, you might have some that are low income that are actually paying their bills, but they're
Yeah.
struggling.
They could, yeah,
Right.
so that's why I think
Right.
it should be made available.
Should be
more
made,
than
oh, I'm
just
not
the-
saying not to
yeah.
make it available. if
Yeah,
we
but
put
yeah,
a caveat in
we
it.
can't just say,
Yeah,
you know, the
right.
people on the.
Yeah,
on
no, right.
the
Who
delinquent
actually
list.
administers this? This is all, we're just passed through, we just
Correct.
notify the
Yep,
people
they
and the
apply.
state takes care of all of it.
Correct, yep.
Oh,
They'll apply right to the Commerce Department.
Well, I'm not, I just bring it up.
Right.
Yeah. Yep.
Joel can.
Well, so they have, the Commerce Department has the application, everything is done, we're just simply entering in the agreement to allow it to happen.
Well, and actually, I should say, it's not the Commerce Department, it's Three Rivers Community Action. They're the partner that is administering the program.
Okay.
Right, I mean, over the years.
So they'll
they've-
apply to Three Rivers, then everything's hunky-dory, they, you know, pass the listing test, yes, you're qualified, you have past due amounts, then it'll be approved, they send it to the state then sends us the
So
money.
to Steve's point though, there is an application, there is a
Correct,
vetting
yep.
process. So there's not really anything that we can,
Let me add
All we
to-
do is, quite frankly, Tammy's gonna have more work in this after once I fill out the stuff online, because she'll be getting EFTs and
Just
ATFs.
as a matter of record, the council would consider possibly a memo of understanding that when Joel, when we go and put these things together, whatever we have to do tonight with this resolution, we could attach a memo of understanding saying, these people here are chronic abusers here, something along that line, and put that tag as just as a memo of understanding to this resolution. Because this resolution, I assume that whoever the money's coming from will have to have that in hand. I'm just offering that up as a point to my concern, council. If you agree, that'd be great. If you don't, I've been heard on it, Your Honor.
Well, thank you. But I don't know if we can comment or not, but, I mean, you raise a valid point, you know, but I don't know if, you know, if that would fall into a criteria that, you know. Do you have thoughts, Joel?
I think at the end of the day, as long as you meet the income requirements, you have a past due amount, or you're facing shut-off, they're gonna say, oh, okay.
I'll drop my.
No, I know what you're saying. Okay, anything else in the agreement that is of concern?
Make a motion to approve, Your Honor.
Motion by Councilman Attorney,
Second?
second by Councilperson Fear. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Consider approval of Resolution 2021-45, a resolution receiving the 2022 Street and Utility Improvement Project Feasibility Report and calling for a hearing on the improvement. Mr. Powell.
Thank you, Mayor and City Council members. At the July 8th meeting, the City Council approved Resolution 2021-38, which authorized the feasibility report for the 2022 improvements. You may recall that last year we did a large feasibility report, which encompassed essentially 2 years worth of projects. So this year it was really related to updating numbers and focusing the project area, and we've done that now. Quick overview of the project. The project's generally bound by Highway 19 on the north, 2nd Avenue to the east, Colorado Street, and then Railway Street to the west. I'm not going to go through this in tremendous detail because I'll be doing it, 2 or 3 times in the coming month. So this is, the total work is about 2,200 feet, 2,200 feet of streets, 800 feet of alleys, about 2,500 feet of water main, and this is all in Area 7 of the city's 2006 CIP. So it's 2 alley replacements. The primary focus is replacing the entire water main system and reconstructing the roadways. We will do sanitary sewer repairs in spots based on televising, and we will be replacing the storm sewer structures based on the condition of the structures. There's some minor storm sewer lead replacement, particularly those areas where we have water main that will be crossing under storm sewer leads, so we take those out and put those back in. The reconstruction area is the existing curb and gutter will be removed and replaced with B618, and the street improvements include replacement of any sidewalks, which is pretty limited in this project area. The roadways will be reconstructed at their same width that they are now. As part of the roadway reconstruction, we'll also install drain tile constructed along all roadways. It serves as both drain the subgrade as well as providing an outlet for sump pump stubs to the abutting property owners. The total project cost for the improvements is noted in the feasibility report, and the total cost is $1,729,629. Proposed funding includes general obligation bonds, city funds for sanitary sewer repairs, storm sewer repairs, water main and street construction, along with assessments levied to benefiting properties. The water main improvements are funded through a combination of assessments and utility funds. The surface and drainage improvements are proposed to be assessed per past practice. There is not a separate alley assessment as part of the project. The rates for the assessments for single-family residential is $14,000 per per single-family residential unit. That's the same as this year's project. We also have a few properties where it's water only. The single-family residential, the rate for that is $3,920 per single-family unit. And commercial property would be assessed at $244.80 per front foot. Based on the feasibility study, the project is necessary, feasible, and cost-effective from an engineering standpoint. The schedule for the project, you're receiving the feasibility report this evening, and by taking action on the resolution, you're considering assessments as one of the funding sources. You're considering the total project cost, and you're scheduling the improvement hearing for September 30th of this year. Similar to past projects, we'll have the hearing on the 30th, but we'll also have a neighborhood meeting at the city council meeting on the 9th. So the presentations of those two meetings are essentially the same. The neighborhood meeting tends to be a little less formal than the public hearing, but the information in the PowerPoint will be essentially the same. So staff's recommendation is to approve resolution 2021-45.
Just to confirm, so that would basically complete the southwestern part of Old Town, I guess you would call that, right?
Mayor, that's correct. The future phases would likely be north and west, I think is what we've talked about, and then north and east. East and west of the Main Street area, but this would take care of the remainder lying south of I-18.
Can I ask, so we've kind of seen, maybe I'm off base, but we've seen how construction costs have been changing so much. I mean, we accept this, plan right now, but are you anticipating, are you seeing anything where it's, we're running a risk of being way off, come bid time and construction time?
Mayor and city council members, there's always that risk based on the current market. We have not experienced inflated costs or shortages of materials for this year's project. For 2022, one of the advantages I think that we have is that generally lawn sales at the front end of the bidding process, so we would be out for bids in December. We're actually a little bit ahead of that. We're in early December this year, so that will help mitigate any risk that we have, but I can't say that it's gonna take care of all the risks.
Well, I understand that.
There could be material shortages that we're not anticipating, but,
Right. Right. I mean, conversely, there, it was such a nice summer for construction. I think contractors are kind of whipping through the work, so there's a good chance to be a competitive bidding environment, possibly.
It was one of those things, I was looking at, our assessment number too,
Right.
and start looking at, we're doing that, and if the city ends up having to pick up more of it, the percentage, and then the value, the value to the property, believe me, I'm not a proponent of raising that number right now. I know we just did it 2 years ago.
Right.
So I just
Good question.
keep, cognizant of that.
yeah, and as the mayor mentioned, this year, I would fully expect some contractors might be looking for some fall projects, based on progress they're making. We've had a little bit of rain, but nothing really significant, as everyone knows. I don't think there's gonna be a lot of carryover to next year, so they'll be looking to start stocking up with projects early on, so, I think we'll take advantage of the best bidding environment that we can. We'll look at the costs again once, just prior to going out for bidding and prior to asking you to authorize that.
Thank you.
I move we approve resolution 2021-45.
Motion by Councilman Kadada,
Second.
second by Councilman Palava. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Consider approval of application for payment number 8 in the amount of $163,663.46 to A1 Excavating Inc. for the 2nd Avenue Southwest Area Street and Utility Improvement Project. Mr. Vowell.
Thank you, Mayor and City Council members. The substantial completion date for this project was September 11th of last year. The contractor met the substantial completion deadline. The final completion date for bituminous workhorse was June 30th of this year. The bituminous workhorse was placed on July 8th, so the pay voucher has deducted $12,000 for liquidated damages per the contract. For city review, the contractor has submitted justification for exceeding the completion date, indicating it was due to reasons outside of their control. We're reviewing this documentation and expect to have a recommendation ready before the next pay estimate. The contractor has completed nearly all the final punch list items. City Council is being requested to consider pay voucher 8 for work completed through July 31st, and the primary new cost is the bituminous workhorse. With this payment, about 96% of the original contract value will have been paid. The payment does reflect a reduction in the retainage to 1% of the construction contract as substantial completion has been met. That's allowed per the contract. So staff's recommendation is to approve the pay voucher number 8 to A1 Excavating in the amount of $163,663.46.
So these issues that you touched on, are they less than the 1% expected that we're retaining?
Yes, Mayor and council members, we don't want it to put the city in the position of essentially overpaying and having to try and get back funds that have been released.
Right.
They've submitted some extras related to primarily adjustment of structures after the fact, where the structures did not have enough rings. So if you don't have adjusting rings, if the road goes up or down, you have limited ability to respond to that pavement shifting. We have a question as to if the rings could not be fit on, why didn't that come up when the structures were being built? So in order to evaluate their request for the extra cost to adjust and forgiveness, if you will, on the liquidated damages, we've obtained elevations out there and are comparing those to we'll compare those to the shop drawings to see what exactly changed. Looking at the curb elevations, I didn't see why anything would have changed and why the structures wouldn't have fit. So they should have been able to be built per the approved shop drawings, but something changed in the field. Maybe one of the pipes or the pipes were different elevations, but we're reviewing that, the submittal from A1 Excavating.
How many dollars of proposed liquidated damages are on the table?
I'm sorry, Mayor, City Council members, the liquidated damages are $1,500 per day. That's through July 8th, so that's when they got the workhorse on. The liquidated damages in the city specifications refers to the MnDOT standard language, so it's based on the contract value, the amount per day.
I guess my question is how many dollars are hanging out there, or possible LDs?
$12,000.
12,000,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, that does seem odd that, especially with the design and shop drawing, that you wouldn't have factored in for rings, and I suspect you'll get to the bottom of that, and if it's a contractor error, I assume that's his problem, he'll read it or whatever, but.
That's what we believe it is, and we're trying to determine actually why it happened or why there was a change.
The same engineer as the PD?
No.
Okay. Same issue.
That's why I brought it up for the PD, to make sure that they had the rings on.
Okay.
Because
Same problem.
that's when we started dealing with the rings.
Twist that
We
knife a
brought
little
that
bit,
up.
Scott.
No, I guess my point being is I wasn't sure who, I apologize.
No.
My point being was, are we dealing with the same issue in the design? I shouldn't say engineer, I apologize, that's not what I meant. It was just it's almost the exact same problem.
It is.
Do you know who Sigmund Freud is?
Mayor and council members, that's what's so frustrating about this is, we have the proposed curb elevations, we designed the structure elevations based on that.
Yeah.
We get the shop drawings, we compare that to the plan, they were approved, they had the right elevations, they had adequate number of rings. So during construction, something changed, and whether it was, a pipe, so maybe they They raised it to match the pipe, and then that eliminated the number of rings, but it was basically 5 key structures, 5 structures for the most part that created the additional cost.
So there's one issue hanging on there with that water running through that sump line. Has that been researched, or have we had the contractor look at it, or what is that deal?
Mayor and Council, go ahead.
No, I can, in talking with the Public Works Director, the contractor, as far as I know, has not been brought into it. I know we've tested it several times, took samples, there is chlorine and fluoride in it. We did have Real Water come and do leak detection. I do not believe that they found anything. At the staff level, we discussed hiring our leak detector that we have used in the past. Albeit we're told 50-50, but if we can find something to start to track it down, that's.
Well,
where
my
we're at.
question is
The
before
other
we-
option is it's leaking into the manhole on your project.
Well, I think you certainly should be made aware of it. So you said it's fluoride, so it's definitely coming from our water system.
Correct.
I mean, I think the contractor should have been notified already.
And maybe they have, I'm not sure, I haven't been in those discussions.
Mayor, they're aware of it through conversations I believe they had directly with the Public Works Director, but the Public Works Director has been, before they wanted to essentially put it all on the contractor, they wanted to verify that it was city water first. Based on the chemistry, that would indicate it is, but they've been unable to find where it might be leaking from.
But, and I guess maybe this is more of a staff level discussion. My understanding has been leaking for quite a while. And obviously, we can't have that. So my point is, even if you had E1 foreman come out here, or project super somebody, maybe they could give us some insight, but I don't think we can continue just to leave water run. I think this is it's pushing over a month now, from what I've heard, I guess. But
Is it flowing into a contained area, like into pipe, or
To a
is it
structure, yeah.
swirling around and making a sinkhole?
It's draining
No.
into a structure.
into a structure. The point is the wasted water.
Exactly,
And
yeah.
I think it's gonna be pretty substantial.
Yeah, it's draining into a structure, but,
Right, right. Right.
Through the sump line.
sump line,
Yeah.
some type of bedding that's, not clay.
It's actually, it's coming, yeah, because I looked in there, it's draining into the, but I guess my point is, maybe the foreman would come out as goodwill and kind of give you some ideas what it could possibly be. If it's somebody's, service line or whatever,
Mayor and council members, reviewing the notes from when that structure was installed, it was not inordinately wet or anything there, so that leads me to think that it's something that happened as part of the construction. We have had multiple curb stops that have been repaired, as you notice going through the site. I think 4 at this time, based on the fitting that was used to connect to the existing water service. So it's at the point where I don't know if Tony Trance, who does the leak detection, will be able to find anything, but it's definitely going to be on the contractor, because the documentation, they're going to have to be part of the problem-solving process.
right, I guess my point is, unfortunately, if they haven't even been made aware of it, it would not be fair to them to spend all these dollars and call all these people. I'm sure A1, I mean, they're a huge contractor, has the pressure testing equipment or whatever, or leak detection equipment, all that kind of jazz. Maybe the foreman comes out and says, hey, the service is leaking over here. Something maybe as simple as that. But regardless, I do think they should be notified ASAP and at least come out and see what we got going there.
I apologize, I wasn't aware of this. Where's this at?
On Florida, right
Florida,
across from,
north side of Florida,
Right.
right at the catch basins.
just east of,
Mid-block.
east of Jerry Smishik's old house there. It's right into that catch basin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And Mayor and council, I think part of the issue was staff wanted to be sure that it
Yeah.
was
No,
city water
right.
before
I don't
they
think the
put
point
it on,
today is
so,
to lay
yeah.
blame. The point is we gotta get the water stopped.
Mhm.
That's all. So anyway, as far as the pay up though, you feel there's enough money in retainage and all that kind of stuff to deal with?
Mayor and council, we have 1% retained, which is about $17,000. And then we'll have the 2-year warranty in addition to that, but we also have the existing bonds related to the project, so.
Okay.
And we
approve pay voucher number 8 in the amount of $163,663.46.
Motion by Councilman Kadada,
Second.
second by Councilperson Fuhrer. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Consider approval of application for payment number 4 in the amount of $198,669.94 to BCM Construction, Inc. for the 2021 street and utility improvement project. Mr. Powell.
Thank you, Mayor and City Council members. The substantial completion date for this project is September 10th of this year, with a final completion date of June 30th of next year. As you may recall, BCM is constructing the project in 2 phases. Basically, phase 1 was 4th Avenue and Delaware from 3rd to 4th, and phase 2 is the remainder of the project, primarily 3rd Avenue. As of today, all of the water main and services have been installed and tested. All of the storm sewer large diameter pipe has been installed. Colorado Street grading is essentially done, including the drain tile. And they've done substantial work on 3rd between Colorado and Delaware to prep that for curb and gutter. So the focus now is 3rd from Delaware to the south, so they'll be subcutting that, installing drain tile, placing the sand, and placing the aggregate base. They have curb and gutter for phase 2 scheduled for next Tuesday. And
Yeah, nice.
bituminous base the following week.
Still before
is-
Labor Day then, we're thinking.
Yep.
Nice, yeah, very nice.
So it's moved right along again. The dry weather has certainly helped the project move along. So the pay voucher 4 is in the amount of $188,669.94 through the end of July. The work items on this payment, primarily the large dollar items, include curb and gutter removal, roadway excavation, sanitary sewer repairs, water main and service replacement, and storm sewer replacement. And then on phase 1, it's primarily turf restoration. Based on quantities to date and work progress, construction costs are tracking at or near budgeted amounts. We've completed all of the utility work, and very minor, if any, extra costs or changes have come about, so.
Good.
With this payment, about 48% of the original contract value will have been paid, and this payment reflects a standard 5% retainage. So staff's recommendation is to approve pay voucher 4 to BCM Construction.
So moved.
Motion by Councilman Kadada,
Second.
second by
I'm
Councilman.
sorry, I was reading something here, sorry.
Pretty deep thought there.
I was listening and I was reading at the same time, so.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed?
Motion
Motion carries.
carries.
Still can't get over that shot he took at John, though.
Right.
That's pretty
Right.
wicked.
Thick skin, right?
Right.
All right, that concludes the planned agenda. On to department reports. Anything else, Mr. Paul?
Mayor and council members, Trichka Park parking lot received a bituminous wearing course, and they're out there striping, actually, I believe, so.
Nice. Yeah.
That project is wrapping up. The then turf restoration will need to take place very soon. The city is holding the NPDS permit on that, and so we want to get that turf
I noticed that.
stabilized.
Have they been holding off because of the heat or something, or just haven't got to it, or?
Mayor, I think it's been prepping the subgrade and making sure it's ready, and then I think the hot weather, it just wasn't a time to try and.
I meant the turf restoration.
The turf restoration is primarily seeding.
Yeah, so I mean, how come it hasn't been done already, just you're holding off because of the heat and
I
stuff?
think so,
Yeah.
yep.
Okay, thank you,
That's all I
sir.
have.
Thank you.
Are we gonna do any repair out there? The concrete approach was broken after the pavement was done?
That should have been done.
Yep. Mayor and council, that's on the punch list to repair. I think they wanted to wait until all the bituminous trucks went through there before they repaired that.
Okay, so how are they gonna do that? Are they gonna cut that out or?
Cut it out.
Okay.
It looked to me like a roller or a compactor.
Well, I
driven
agree,
on.
but I just
Yeah.
didn't want it to get left like that,
Right.
fill full of water and start busting that whole corner up even worse, so.
Exactly right.
Okay.
Good call.
I'm sorry, Mayor, I would add, we also had the kickoff meeting for the Highway 19 planning study, which the Highway 19 mill and overlay project extends from Highway 3 in Northfield through to Highway 13.
Oh, gee.
The east portion is scheduled for 2026, that's I-35 to the east. The west portion is scheduled for 2028. And so this was a kickoff meeting to go through a list of issues that Lonsdale may have and Rice County in the corridor. It was attended by several MnDOT staff. It was a Zoom meeting, but it's really to start the process. There's been a lot of data sharing right now, background concepts that MnDOT had put together at 8th Avenue. The city administrator reminded them that we sat down a couple of years ago and went through basically a layout of the corridor and identified a lot of issues as part of that. They had a transition in the project manager, so they're still catching up on some of that, but.
So that's I mean, originally it was scheduled like for what, 23, wasn't it? 23, 24?
It's been pushed back.
Pushed back
Yep.
by
And
five
even
years,
at the
yeah.
meeting, MnDOT was not,
They were very non-committal.
they were non-committal.
So does that affect the roundabout construction then that was scheduled for 23?
Roundabout is still scheduled for 2025.
Or 25, yeah.
And an inquiry was made of MnDOT as to what additional interim measures could be taken before the roundabout's completely reconstructed.
You're looking at 4 years, 3 to 4 years. I mean, there was just a car in the ditch last week or the week before, so.
I mean, you think with all the money floating around that they could keep it on track, you know?
One of their family members died, I bet you it happened in a freaking hurry.
Frustrating. Thank you, Mr. Powell. Mr. Erickson.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Well, the city engineer went over the MnDOT Highway 19. Had a conversation with the Rice County HRA Director, Joy Watson. And the county is kicking around the idea of doing tax abatement for housing. I said, well, I don't think the city of Lonsdale is gonna be doing that. We don't have a desire to reduce taxes when housing isn't, fortunately, is not a concern of ours.
What's the
What
theory?
They want to abate, the theory is that if you abate the taxes, that more houses will be built in communities that are lacking housing starts. I think this, came out of the Faribault Chamber of Commerce, and they must have approached the city and then Rice County. So there does seem to be support from what I get at the county level. But I said, yeah, for right now, I don't see us partnering on that.
Some of those
I mean,
theories,
that
I
would
don't know
be-
if they work. I mean,
Well,
would you
that
think the
might-
builder
that-
would just take more profit?
Yeah, that's exactly what I told them. I said, they're gonna know in the back of their head that they're gonna get $7,000 in taxes abated. They're just gonna raise the price up.
Right.
So, you guys may be hearing about that upcoming, but as of right now, I said, I don't know if we're interested in that.
No.
I mean, if we did 40 houses a year, and I would say the average house in Lonsdale pays, between 13 and, 13 and probably 1,800, but just say it's 1,500, you do 40 homes, I mean, that's $60,000, right?
But even if
That
the
you'd be
county
giving up.
abated,
Right.
even the county abated, we want to be.
Correct, yep, yeah, well, we said, hey, Connie, if you wanna give up your tax, that's your decision.
Right.
And I don't think it creates a advantage for another community over Lonsdale.
Right.
Maybe Dundas.
There's a lot more to the community than just what the tax base is.
Yep.
You know, maybe they need to look at why people don't wanna build there before they,
Yeah.
you know, then what it's gonna take to get them there.
Right. Working on the BRE with the 3 subgroups. Election season is in full swing, so I'll be working with the ballot company to those out. On the business park, we did receive a very, very preliminary concept plan for the outlot on Pondview Drive. The concept plan that I saw had multiple buildings in it, So, it'll be pretty exciting. Let's see, we met earlier this week with the fire board with the townships. They seem satisfied with the service that the department provides, and actually the next vehicle to be replaced is the tanker in '25, I think.
Like you said.
And actually, there was some interest in, given the fund balance, to just start the process and purchase it now. But it takes probably about a year with the truck committee, whatever selected or volunteered firefighters working on that and specking everything out, so. I guess it's nice to have partners that want to see, you know, what we're allocating our funds for and building up reserves, so.
It is,
It's
yeah.
nice to see that they want to
Move forward.
continue to improve the fleet.
Right, that's exactly right.
I guess real quick, we met with the union on PD negotiations this morning. I think that went well. I think we're pretty close, and it was our first meeting. I don't anticipate too many more. Met or discussed with both APG on the digital marketing and display ads, and then LoopNet as well, as far as the lots that the city has listed on LoopNet. We had an update on the PD project. So.
You want to comment on this flyer? that
Oh,
they
yes,
are-
also, I don't know if I got this yesterday or today, but as an update, as we're talking about housing, seems like there's a renewed interest, or continued, in essentially development-related legislation. Basically, the gist of it is what I highlighted. It's been introduced in the past. Basically, it would undermine our local zoning and development authority. It would put minimum lot sizes, let's see, be prohibited any new lot sizes larger than 1/5 of an acre in new developments. Allow duplexes in single-family homes, limited the use of planned unit developments, and prohibit architectural design standards. I don't know if that was in it initially, but I know we did receive a call from Housing First, and they were astonished that we had design standards. Apparently, one of their clients called them to make them aware of our housing design standards. And so Ben our city planner did provide them that, and I just told him going forward, I'll be the contact for Housing First. You know, they're concerned about their clients, our clients. Well, we've got 4,400 clients, and they made it very clear several years ago that they wanted design standards.
I'm curious, in here it says it says newly developing areas of the metro. Well, if we're not in the 7-county metro area. why would-
Yeah,
Yeah, I know.
This
but-
is just a summary where
Well, this is actually,
Yeah.
yeah.
the metro will probably
yeah.
go from Duluth to Rochester.
Anywhere that's got municipal water.
I don't know if anybody's read that article, it was last Sunday. I thought it was really a poor article that Star Tribune had, that these subdivisions with lots, you know, 1/3 or 1/2 acre lots are racist or discriminatory and all that kind of stuff. And I thought, you know, that it just wasn't a fair article. But the mayor of Prior Lake, Kurt Briggs, is kind of leading this charge in opposition to this, and some of the commentary in the newspaper. And he's kind of been reaching out to the surrounding mayors, including New Prague and Lonsdale and Northfield and all those kind of things, that it was really I thought it was just really poorly written. So you can't have you know, a typical, you know, 1/3 acre lot and, you know, and just having a nice community and all that kind of stuff. I just thought, so there'll be some pushback on that, and I certainly can copy all the council on some of the stuff that he's been kind of pushing back on. I think he was gonna start with a letter to the editor, and then it's gonna be, are they gonna bring this up in a special session? Is that what I heard?
Correct, and that starts,
Maybe
I thought it was in
you can
someplace,
read
September 15th or something like that.
Yeah.
I see, you know, the representatives from Bloomington. Well, we don't want to live in Bloomington.
Right.
We live here for a reason.
Right.
Keep your Bloomington values there, and we'll do ours here.
I'll be more blunt about this. As far as this is concerned, this legislation should not even be brought forth. It's an effort for the state to control our zoning and our cities. And as far as I'm concerned, we should push back as hard as possible as a group effort, all mayors out here, all cities across Minnesota. This is bogus, this is state interference in local communities, and we're not gonna stand for it. That's where I am, or I'm not gonna stand for it.
Build
Good
a wall.
comments. Yeah.
Keep them out.
Good comments.
So, we had brought this to the council before, I'm not sure if we passed a resolution, but I do, plan on, sending this letter on our letterhead to, Prior Lake, and then they'll send it, or however it is gonna get out there, so I just wanted to make, the council aware of that, but yeah, again, it's the same thing. You're gonna abate the taxes, what's gonna happen? The housing prices went up.
Right.
The market dictates what the price is. I mean, houses are every day in Lonsdale selling for over 300. I don't see them going down to 275.
When you get your letter completed, maybe you should CC the entire city council.
Definitely.
So they could all, yeah, it's, not cool. in fact, really. Anything else, sir?
No, thank you.
Councilman Cherney?
Yes, Your Honor, the water issue that folks came before us, still working with them on that, and they're realizing that there's some major issues out there with the topography. I went out again and found a sump pump run along, and all of a sudden it dumps out into like this little pond area. So I'm working with them. They're realizing now what has to be done, and I feel real good about the
Appreciate your
progress.
effort.
Thank you. That's all I have, Your Honor.
Thank you. Councilman Kadatis?
Couple things, parks, the city just received the final $10,000 from the DNR for the Trichka grant. Now that parking lot and sidewalks have all been paid. Planning and zoning, the First National Bank has a new coffee shop that just opened up Wednesday, August 4th. The shop features products from the Coffee Pool Lee Center and Cakewalk in Northfield. And planning and zoning will have a joint meeting with the city council on the budget on August 30th. And that's all I have.
Thank you, sir. So have you had coffee with the old bucks and
I
all
have
sit
not
around
yet.
and
Not
little
yet.
gossip and all that kind of jazz?
I might have to wait till winter morning.
Thank you, sir. Councilperson Vera?
The EDA will meet next week. And liquor store numbers are out, but I don't have it on this device, so I can't provide them at this point. But I know she's doing well. She's doing better on the inventory. That's dropped a little bit, so that's,
Yep.
and that's always been a work in progress, so.
Yep, I want to say the net profit after depreciation was a little over $11,000. And I believe the fund balance as of, I just typed in my report for the budget, I mean, 7/30 was like 363,000. So, and actually, this, let me get this right, this July had higher sales than last July.
Really?
But it was really hot.
Yeah.
That's a good point. That's
That's
just,
correct. It was only a few thousand, excuse me, but
sure.
the first month this year that we've exceeded last year.
Okay, thank you, and Councilman Cherney for serving on the liquor board. It sounds like things are going well. Councilman Palava?
As Councilperson Fuhr said, EDA next week, we touched base on PD already. So that's really it, other than we got a party this weekend.
Party, like 1999.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bringing back the fun in 2021.
There you go.
There you
That's
go.
what-
Like
The
that.
tagline I came up with, but we didn't publish it.
Oh, I thought you just created it now, maybe.
Oh, no, I know. It was a couple weeks, or a few weeks ago I thought of that, but yeah, too late, so. There went my $1 million idea.
Right?
So we got some pretty cool new stuff here this year. We got the fire department, water fight. So other area fire departments are gonna be, challenged against Lonsdale on North Main, after
Nice.
the parade, and
Nice.
Mayor himself is providing some vehicles. We're gonna have a heavy equipment vehicle fair for the kids and dads and anybody wanna, cause the dads, I think, find more fun with that than the kids do too.
Yeah.
But, so yeah, and then a lot of the regular stuff, the car cruise is happening, all that, and then big concert on Saturday night, so beer garden and the whole 9 yards.
Well, thank you, Councilman, for all your volunteerism, and the Chamber of Commerce Board. It takes a lot of volunteers, so really good job. Just a couple of shout outs. Our new Lonzo Queen is Reagan Gall. I don't know if anybody knows that or not, but that'd be Donnie Steakin's granddaughter, so big shout out to her. I'm sure you'll see her at the parade. And a big shout out to Daryl Reek, who is the Grand Marshal for the parade. That's an excellent choice. So yeah, it'll be a fun week or fun day on Saturdays. That's about all I have, other than it looks to me like a lot of meetings over the next couple months. Are you sure there's no typos in there, huh? That's all?
There shouldn't be. I went through it a couple
Yeah,
of
exactly. So, that's all I got.
I move we adjourn.
Motion by Councilman Kadada,
Second.
second by Councilman Palava. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. This meeting's adjourned.